some gold around your waist.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought that up. New Trick High School, November 21st in Brooklyn. They're teaming up with Jay Santana, who's a great competitor.
Oh, really? Yeah, he's great. Jay Santana, a very nice guy. I spoke to him many times. He's a really great athlete.
And we're going to giving us a tag team title shot.
You once in a while, you and Merengue also tag team.
Yeah, we've tagged team.
Merengue Warrior.
Merengue Warrior's another good kid.
Yeah, he seems like he combines pro wrestling with Latin, with Merengue, with Latin style, and it seems to go well.
It goes well, yeah.
You know,
he's a great athlete.
Yeah, but the thing is that pound for pound overall, you stand out amongst all new Latin wrestlers, and with the talent that you have, my prediction is that you will get a big contract someday.
Ojalá, let's look at the Wakanda, that's what I'm looking for.
And I just want to tell a story about when I first was exposed to professional wrestling. God, it must have been in the early 70s. I was like 12 or 13. I think I was in 7th grade, and I go to school. I was a little wizard back then, you know, but anyway, one of my classmates, he was from Puerto Rico, Jose Luna. Jose Luna says to me, "James, you know what I've been watching?" And he started to describe professional wrestling, and I'm like, "What? What is it?" Yeah, they're wrestlers, and they dress in flashy, clothes. They wear sequins jackets. They wear robes. Some of them are look like wild men. They scream during interviews, and they do all kinds of neat stuff. They hit people with chairs and blah blah blah, and eye gouge and body slamming. And he made it very interesting. And I said, "Well, how do I see this pro wrestling?" He says, "Well, just turn on channel 47 or 41." In those days, we didn't have cable.
Right.
And channel 47 and 41 were the Latin stations,
right.
And it was ultra high frequency for those of you that are in the semi-dinosaur era, Jurassic era.
You needed an antenna outside your house to pick it up.
You needed an antenna, and if the wind blew, you got bad reception. And the ultra high frequency was this ring that you had on the back of your TV, and you had to keep on playing with it. And well, if I had that TV now, I'd smash it with this cane. It used to piss me off. Every time it was a good match, I had to keep on playing with the ring. But
well, it wasn't bad as mine. Mine was a clothes hanger and a piece of aluminum foil. But it worked.
But it worked. Yeah, the reception. But anyway, it was that's analog, I think, right? Anyway, the first thing I saw on Channel 47 was a young Vince McMahon in a ridiculous yellow sport jacket interviewing Pedro Morales, who was then the WWF. In those days, Vince McMahon Sr. controlled it. It was the Worldwide Wrestling Federation.
Right.
Yeah. And interviewing Pedro Morales, and Pedro would get excited and start, speaking Spanish to the audience, to the Spanish fans. And of course, if somebody, did him wrong, he would get real upset, And he would use the Boston Crab often,
right,
as one of his maneuvers, which nobody really pays much attention to, but I'm sure it's a very painful move.
It's a very, I've been in it. I put it on people. I've been in it, and it's a painful move.
Actually, the Mexican wrestler Conan used to do a variation of a one-legged Boston Crab, where he hooked the guy's arm.
And he hooked the guy's leg at the same time. It was a variation. There's a lot of variations of it right now.
Yeah, but there was many other. I remember many other Hispanic Latin wrestlers. It was Victor Rivera.
You had Chiqui Star.
Yeah, Mil Mascaras
from Mexico. Carlos Colon, which is idol, legend.
The Super Medics from Puerto Rico. And what's that?
Victor Rivera.
And what's the guys? Gorman and Goliath. They were from Mexico, but that was the Olympic Auditorium in Los Angeles. I think that was a part of the NWA.
Right.
And at that time, it was Freddie Blassie was the Pacific Coast Heavyweight Champion. But I hear in those days people would actually trade wrestlers with other promotions because they had territories.
Yeah, back then was a lot of territories. But what I see, a lot more opportunity back then.
Yeah.
There was places you can go wrestle pretty much, anywhere.
Yeah, and you would never cross somebody else's territory.
No.
I mean, it would be like World War III. But I like the old school wrestling, and simply because, let's say you win the title. Let's say you win the world championship. Everyone else had to work their way up to the top to be the ranked number one contender.
Correct.
The ranked number one contender was the only person who deserved to get a title shot. They get a title shot. If the match was a draw, they had a return match.
Right.
If the challenger loses to the world champion, they had to pretty much start from the bottom and work their way up again.
Back up again.
But now, with Vince McMahon Jr.'s, and the way things are now, you have wrestlers bitching and moaning and crying for return after return after return. Even though they keep on losing, they cry and they want return matches forever, and then they cheat eventually to get the belt back, and it goes back and forth, and then you have three-way matches and four-way matches. I like old-fashioned one-on-one to the finish. Ranked number one contender only deserves to get a title shot. You lose, you go to the bottom, work your way up. You have that ladder. But now it's like it's different. It's like it's a spectacle.
Yeah, but ECPW is kind of like really doing it back the way it used to be.
Old school wrestling.
Old school wrestling, you got to earn it.
Yeah.
The reason why I'm getting a title shot is just pretty much they think me and Jay would have a good chance. And they give us an opportunity. I mean, we're going to do the best we can, of course. And we're talking about the repeat offenders. I mean, these guys are, they know what they're doing in that ring.
Yeah, Crazy Ivan and Pete Nixon.
Yeah, they're not the tag team champions just because of pretty faces. These guys know their trade.
And what about Slugger and Sean Martin? They look
Those
formidable.
are two very formidable tag teams. There's a lot of good tag teams.
The
out
Flesh
there.
Eaters are now on the scene again.
Yeah, they're back again. They're new to me, but I've heard of them, and they're a team to be reckoned with. I mean, you got the Owens too. I mean, these guys are technicians, and some of these guys do whatever it takes to win. Whatever it takes to win. But me and Jay, we're gonna give it a shot. Like I say, look it up. ECPW1.com. It's gonna be New Utrecht High School in Brooklyn, which is someplace where a couple of my family members graduated from. So it's gonna be cool to be there.
All the events are there. If it's in your area, it'll be at that website, www.ecpw1.com. And the TV taping, for now, has been at the Elks Lodge on Route 17 North in Paramus, New Jersey.
Right.
And it is generally the last Friday of every month. So if you happen to be in the northern New Jersey area, or or New York metro area, show up and get a ticket.
There's a date. That's November 20th.
It's going to be November
20th was yeah.
Next TV taping, November 20th. Now I heard that the new ring girls were actually from an ad that James P. Madonna placed, and he didn't even realize it until Gino called him this past week and told him, say, "Oh, thank you for hooking me up with these ring girls." I said, "What? I don't know these people." Yeah. They